why your ambition is killing you, and why softness might save your life. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start by introducing you to someone whose work is quietly reshaping the future for Black women across corporate boardrooms, startup offices, and entrepreneurial spaces. Cyntrell Jones is not just a thinker or an advocate, they are a movement. Through their research, their relentless commitment to truth telling, and their deep love for Black women, Cyntrell is dismantling the lie that we have to destroy ourselves to be successful. They are building a world where ambition and rest are not enemies, where community is not a luxury, and where softness is not surrender. Cyntrell Jones is making the world better by daring to ask one simple revolutionary question: what if Black women stopped performing strength and started practicing power? Today, I want to share what I learned from Cyntrell Jones because their perspective is not just refreshing, it is life saving. Let me tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. Your ambition, the very thing you have been praised for your entire life, might be the thing that is slowly killing you. We have been told, for as long as most of us can remember, that success requires relentless hustle. That if you want to build something meaningful, you have to grind harder, sleep less, sacrifice more. That rest is a reward you earn only after you have proven yourself. That boundaries are for people who are not serious. That asking for help is a sign of weakness. And for Black women, especially Black professional women and entrepreneurs, this message has been amplified 1,000 times over. We are expected to be superhuman, to carry our families, our communities, our companies on our backs without complaint, without pause, without breaking. But here's the truth that no one wants to say out loud: we are breaking, we are burning out. We are building empires on the edge of collapse because we have been taught that our worth is tied to our productivity, our strength is measured by our silence, and our value is proven by how much we can endure. And Cyntrell Jones is here to tell us enough. Here's what Cyntrell helped me see. The soft girl era for Black professional women and entrepreneurs is not about being less ambitious or less powerful. It is about reclaiming sustainable power by centering support, softness, and community as business strategy, not as luxury. Let me say that again because I need you to really hear this. Support, softness, and community are not things you add to your business plan if you have time. They are the foundation, they are the infrastructure, they are what allow you to stay in the game long enough to benefit from your own brilliance. Research on women entrepreneurs shows us something critical. When communities invest in structural supports like childcare, financial access, education, and social networks, women owned businesses drive significant economic growth. And for Black women in particular, who are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in America, embracing softness, rest, and emotional wellness is not doing less. It is how we protect our capacity to lead, innovate, and build generational wealth. Instead of glorifying grind culture, Cyntrell Jones challenges us to see emotional safety, boundaries, and community care as critical infrastructure for Black women's success in corporate space and entrepreneurship. Not something we add if there is time, but something we build into the foundation of our careers and our companies. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking: softness in business, in leadership. Isn't that just another way of saying we should lower our standards, dim our light, play small? No, absolutely not. Let me share 3 insights from my conversation with Cyntrell Jones that will help you understand why this shift is not only necessary, it is strategic. First, softness is a strategy, not a weakness. For Black women, choosing emotional wellness, rest, and boundaries is often framed as not being tough enough, especially in corporate and entrepreneurial spaces. We are told that if we cannot handle the pressure, we do not belong at the table. But here's the truth: consistent, values aligned leadership and sustainable energy are what allow businesses to grow and endure. Softness, protecting your mental health, saying no, designing humane workplaces is a strategic choice that helps you stay in the game long enough to benefit from your own brilliance. Think about it. How many brilliant Black women have you seen burn out? How many have walked away from opportunities, not because they were not capable, but because the cost to their health, their families, their peace was too high? How many businesses have we lost? Not because the idea was not good, but because the founder could not sustain the pace required to keep going. Softness is not about lowering your standards, it is about raising them. It is about refusing to accept a model of success that requires you to destroy yourself in order to achieve it. Second, you do not have to build alone. Success is deeply tied to support systems. Studies on women entrepreneurs show that when communities invest in financial access, childcare, education, and community connections, women's businesses thrive and local economies grow. Black women entrepreneurs, in particular, succeed when they have mentors, peer networks, community advisors, and trusted friends. And when they pay it forward and build ecosystems of mutual support, your network, your community, and your willingness to ask for and accept help are core assets, not optional extras. Let me tell you about someone who understood this over a century ago. Her name was Sarah Breedlove, but the world came to know her as Madam C.J. Walker. She was born to parents who had been enslaved. She was orphaned at a young age. She faced systemic racism, gender bias, and severe economic hardship. There were virtually no mainstream beauty products created for Black women, meaning she had to build a new market from the ground up. Access to capital, formal business education, and mainstream distribution channels was extremely limited for a Black woman at that time. But here's what made her truly revolutionary. Her business was not just about products, it was about economic opportunity for Black women. She built a direct sales model that empowered Black women as sales agents and beauty culturists. She leveraged community networks, churches, clubs, grassroots organizing as marketing and distribution channels. She invested in education and training for her agents, helping them build their own income and status. Walker's journey began with her own hair loss issues, which led her to experiment with products and routines. She worked as a laundress while developing her formulas, often earning barely enough to survive. Through persistence, community connections, and a deep understanding of Black women's experiences, she shifted from survival work to visionary entrepreneurship. Her business model consciously centered Black women's wellness, appearance, and economic empowerment at a time when both were denied. She created a thriving business that generated wealth not only for herself, but for thousands of Black women who sold her products. She demonstrated that serving the needs and dignity of Black women could be the foundation of a highly successful enterprise. She established herself as a philanthropist and activist, donating to Black educational institutions and civil rights causes. She became America's first self made female millionaire. Madam C.J. Walker's approach, aligning product, purpose, and community, foreshadows modern soft girl era principles. Business as a vehicle for care, dignity, and empowerment, not just profit. And she was not alone. Annie Turnbow Malone, another Black woman entrepreneur, pioneered the Black beauty industry and mentored other Black women, including Madam C.J. Walker. She founded Poro College, which provided beauty training and business education for Black women. She operated in a deeply segregated America where Black women were excluded from mainstream beauty and business spaces. She faced competition imitation of her products, and difficulty securing national distribution due to racism and sexism. She had to build consumer trust and education around hair care practices that were unfamiliar or undervalued by mainstream companies. Malone started experimenting with hair care products to address the specific needs of Black women's hair at a time when very few options existed. Over time, she grew from small scale sales to a large manufacturing and educational operation. Her focus was not only on products, but on transforming the way Black women saw themselves, offering grooming, self presentation, and economic autonomy in hostile social conditions. She invested in education by founding Poro College, a training institution for Black women in cosmetology, sales, and business. She developed a systematized professional brand that emphasized dignity, self respect, and economic independence for Black women. She built structured networks of agents and franchise like operations that extended opportunity to women across different cities. She created one of the earliest and most influential Black owned beauty enterprises. She helped thousands of Black women gain skills, income, and professional identities tied to beauty culture. She established a model where business success was inseparable from community uplift and education. Malone's emphasis on education, self development, and community networks illustrates how Black women's entrepreneurship can be a vehicle for emotional, social, and financial empowerment, core soft girl era values. Her institutions became safe spaces where Black women could learn, work, and thrive on more humane terms than in many mainstream workplaces. She demonstrates that creating supportive ecosystems around Black women's businesses amplifies success for individuals and communities. Third, your business model and career path should match your terms, not oppressive expectations. Black women are increasingly building businesses and leadership careers that reflect their values, lifestyles, and communities instead of conforming to traditional extractive models. This means designing work around your real life, your caregiving responsibilities, your health, your desire for joy, and refusing to see that as less professional. The soft girl era is about defining success on your own terms and building systems that support that definition rather than contorting yourself to fit someone else's idea of success. Contemporary Black women entrepreneurs across industries, marketing, fashion, consulting, tech, and more are intentionally building businesses on their own terms, supported by mentors, peer networks, and community advisors. They are part of the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in America, and their success is closely tied to consistent, values aligned leadership and robust support systems. These entrepreneurs face ongoing systemic barriers in access to capital, mainstream mentorship, and inclusive corporate or entrepreneurial ecosystems. They balance business growth with personal life, caregiving responsibilities, and mental health in environments that often expect nonstop grind. They navigate pitch meetings and institutional spaces where Black women's ideas and leadership may be underestimated or undervalued. But they are creating and leveraging mentors, peer networks, community advisors, and trusted friends as core pillars of business strategy. They are prioritizing consistency in leadership, showing up with clear values, boundaries, and long term vision rather than reactive, burnout driven decision making. They are participating in and advocating for ecosystem supports like improved financial access, childcare, education, and community connections, which research shows are critical for women entrepreneurs' success. Many of these entrepreneurs have grown sustainable businesses and are in a position to pay forward support by mentoring others and reinvesting in Black owned businesses. Their companies contribute to local and national economic growth, especially when community and institutional supports are in place. They model a new way of success, one that integrates ambition with wellness, community, and authenticity. The broader story here is the evolution from historical figures like Walker and Malone to modern Black women entrepreneurs who are explicitly rejecting toxic hustle culture. Instead of conforming to traditional corporate expectations, they design business models that fit their lives, values, and communities. They often start with limited resources, but build out networks of collaborators, mentors, and advisors using social media, professional groups, and local ecosystems to support their growth. These entrepreneurs' success stories reinforce that Black women's businesses are a major economic force and that when their needs are structurally supported, entire communities benefit. Their approach exemplifies the soft girl era philosophy, building wealth and impact, while honoring emotional wellness, boundaries, and community support as non negotiables. They offer living proof to all of us that it is possible and powerful to design careers and companies that reflect who we are, not just what the market demands. So here's what I want to leave you with today. The soft girl era is not a trend, it is not a retreat, it is a revolution. It is Black women saying, like, this, we will no longer sacrifice our health, our joy, our peace for a version of success that was never designed for us in the first place. It is us saying, we will build something better, something sustainable, something that honors our whole selves, not just our productivity. Cyntrell Jones reminded me that when we center support, softness, and community as business strategy, we are not being less ambitious. We are being more strategic. We are protecting our capacity to lead, to innovate, to build generational wealth. We are creating a model of success that does not require us to destroy ourselves to achieve it. And that, my friends, is how we change the world. So I am going to ask you to do something radical right now. I want you to think about one thing, just one thing, that you are doing in your career or your business that is draining you. One expectation you are meeting that is not yours. One boundary you have been too afraid to set. One person you have been too proud to ask for help. And I want you to commit right here, right now, to changing it this week, not next month, not when things slow down, this week. Because the truth is, the world does not need another burned out Black woman. The world needs you, whole, rested, soft, and powerful. The world needs the version of you that has the energy to dream, to build, to lead, to love. The world needs you in your soft girl era. So stop grinding yourself into the ground. Stop wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor. Stop waiting for permission to rest, to heal, to be human. Your softness is not your weakness, it is your superpower, and it is time to use it.